Hello and welcome to In a Pickle. This is Karthik Venkatraman. Last night, game one of the NBA Finals, the Golden State Warriors took on the Cleveland Cavaliers in Oracle Arena. The Golden State Warriors were just able to edge out the Cleveland Cavaliers 108 to 100 in overtime. LeBron James had an amazing game last night, 44 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. But it was in a defeat as Stephen Curry and the Warriors take the win as Curry put up 26 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 steals. But one of the big productions from the Warriors came from the bench, especially two players. Andre Iguodala had an amazing game, and Maurice Spates, aka Mo Buckets, came up big for the Warriors as well. Now, I really want to focus on Andre Iguodala, but let me talk about Maurice Spates first. He had some big buckets coming off the bench when Bogut, who's more of a defensive presence, came off, and then you'd have Spates come in, and he was just hitting jumpers. He was making his way into the lane, taking a smaller James Jones once in a while, and taking him to the hoop and scoring points, which really got the Warriors going, especially in the beginning of the second quarter when LeBron James sat down for a little bit. Now let me get to Andre Iguodala, who had a stellar game, had some big shots, especially that one where he lost his shoe and hit that three in the corner. That was a huge shot. He played some stellar defense on LeBron toward the end of the game after LeBron had a huge night, especially when LeBron was going for the game-winning shot at the end of the fourth quarter, and Andre Iguodala was able to steer him out, and we'll get to that later, but that was really a huge telltale of this game, the benches, because the Warriors outscored the Cavaliers 34-9, and if the Cavaliers want to get it done, J.R. Smith can't go 3 of 13 from the field. James Jones has to step up. Matthew Dellavedova looked rattled all night ever since Stephen Curry, Sean Livingston, Leandro Barbosa, any of those guys would show pressure on him. These are the kind of things that the Cavaliers need to fix going into their next game because this bench production is a huge thing that people have doubted them for so far, and why a lot of people are picking the Warriors to win. So the Cavaliers really need to step it up with their bench play. Couple times the Warriors got back into the game was the Cavaliers' stagnant offense, which a lot of it resulted from the isolation of LeBron James. And I'm not going to sit here and complain about the isolation because, as I said, LeBron James had 44 points last night. But the one thing that I want to talk about within the isolation, I don't have a necessary problem with the isolation. And I know I've talked about in the past that I don't really like it when LeBron James goes isolation for 7 possessions. I want to tweak what I said a little bit. I think it works well because obviously when you have the best player in the game, going isolation works well. But it's kind of like a read option in football. You want to make the right choice. You could gain some times in one way, but it might not be the correct read, as in when LeBron James settles for a jump shot when he could have maybe passed the ball somewhere else. Where this isolation can really work is if LeBron gets really effective with it by making the right decision. And he's a smart enough player to do it. As I said, he's the best player in the world. So these are the kind of things that LeBron James needs to do to get better when the Cavaliers use that isolation, because they're using the isolation more than any team did in the NBA this year. And they do it with guys like LeBron James, and when Kyrie Irving's healthy, he does it too. J.R. Smith also does it as well. And all these guys can hit shots, but making the right choice is a big thing because when there wasn't a lot of ball movement, the Warriors did sneak back into the game. Let's get on to LeBron James' last shot of the game. Now, Kyrie Irving held the ball for a little while, then eventually passed it to LeBron with about 8 seconds to go. LeBron James, instead of trying to force himself into the lane, kind of veered off into the corner and took a jump shot as he was falling away. Maybe not his best shot, and as I did say earlier, Andre Iguodala did check him pretty well. But if you're LeBron James, you got to try and muscle your way in there and make sure that you're finding a way to get to, or maybe even draw a foul with maybe 1 second to go on the clock or something like that. That would have been a better play for me than that falling away jump shot, which I didn't see as a very good shot as in the eyes of others. So LeBron James, couple things that you could probably fix there. You had such a great game bullying your way into the lane the whole entire game. Would have liked to see you do it one last time in the fourth quarter. It would have been a higher percentage shot to give your team maybe the win in a regulation. I think one of the big things that was underlooked in this game was off of timeouts. The Warriors scored a lot of buckets, and these aren't the kind of things that people really look for. They're kind of looking at the field goal percentages and what's going on at the free throw line and how well defense is being played, which all these factor into these inbounds plays for the Warriors. But every single time it seems the Warriors call a timeout, they do such a good job of scoring the basketball off those timeouts. Steve Kerr, such a mastermind at drawing up plays for the Warriors. The Cavaliers looked lost on a lot of the times, and they didn't really stop an out-of-bounds timeout play until Kyrie Irving was able to get that block on Stephen Curry, and what I thought Stephen Curry was just going to waltz into the lane and get a layup and give the Warriors the lead, but that didn't end up happening there. But that block ended up maybe hurting the Cavaliers more than it did help them, because what happened at overtime is Kyrie Irving got hurt, and that is the major storyline. MRI coming later for Kyrie Irving today as they figure out how much he's going to be able to play, or if he's going to be able to play at all for the rest of this series. And from the looks of it last night, it looks very bad for all Cavaliers fans, or if you're even a Kyrie Irving fan. He looked like he was in great pain last night, looked very worried last night in his press conference in the locker room with the media. But Kyrie Irving, what he brings to the floor, 23 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals, and 2 huge blocks on Stephen Curry last night. Irreplaceable, and that's the way you respond after you've been doubted this whole entire time, coming back to the NBA Finals after sitting out and only playing 2 games in the Eastern Conference Finals, rather. And Kyrie had such a wonderful game, and to see him go down like that in overtime was just very gruesome, and it really swung the game around if you think about it, because Kyrie had the ball, he lost it, went to the floor, and that's where he really twisted that knee, was able to get it out to J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith misses his three-point shot, and the Warriors were able to flip the court and come down on a 5-on-4 because Kyrie was hobbling off the court, which eventually led to that Harrison Barnes 3, which is all daggers for the Warriors, as that really ended the game and put the Warriors in good position to close out the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers ended the game pretty poorly. In the last 7 minutes, the Warriors went on a 12-4 run to close it out. These are the kind of things the Cavaliers can't do. The Warriors just seemed like they wanted it more. These are things the Cavaliers have to fix, but without Kyrie Irving, how well are the Cavaliers going to do? It starts looking a lot like the 2007 NBA Finals when everyone was like, okay, LeBron James, you got to put the team on your back and somehow win. But as I was saying earlier, I don't know how many of you follow us at In Pickle on Twitter, but you should. LeBron James, in the 2 titles he has won, has lost game 1 in both of them and gone on to win the finals. This time, maybe not as much of a talented team, with Kevin Love already out and Kyrie may be out for the whole entire series. So we'll see. You can make of it what you want, but that's just the statistic that I'm throwing it out there for you. Some improvements that I think both teams need to make in the next game. The Cavs have to make free throws. They were 13 of 19 with some crucial free throws. LeBron James was 6 of 10. Missed some free throws he probably should have missed. At one possession, I think he went 0 of 2 from the line, and that was later on in the game. These are the kind of things the Cavaliers cannot do, and LeBron has had some troubles in some games this year shooting some free throws. The Warriors have to keep shutting down the Cavaliers' role players like they did in this game. They did a pretty good job. As I said, the bench only had 9 points, and they were all by J.R. Smith. So that's what you need to do. Keep checking LeBron with Iguodala. Iguodala did a great job toward the end of the night. He really started figuring it out, so we'll see if Iguodala when he comes off the bench. He better keep checking LeBron for the Warriors. I think the Warriors needed to do a better job of keeping Cleveland off of the offensive glass. Now, Cleveland did a really good job toward the beginning of the game, and that's how they stretched out to these leads that got them up by 7, 10 points until the fourth quarter. And that's when the Warriors started really getting the offensive rebounds of their own. And then in overtime, the Cavaliers could not get an offensive rebound to save their life. Had like 4 turnovers in the last 7 minutes, I think, too. So these are the kind of things the Warriors really cranked up their defense and started rebounding really well. When they do those things, it's going to be really hard for the Cavaliers to win, because a lot of points for the Cavaliers come off those second chance points with Mozgov, LeBron, and of course Tristan Thompson, the beast inside, flipping it back out and resetting the shot clock. So without Kyrie, this is looking like bad news for the Cavs. Now, can the Cavs somehow ride the coattails of LeBron James, a much better player than he was in 2007, and grab a couple games and buy some time until Kyrie's back? Or are the Warriors just going to straight up take it to the Cavs? This has been In a Pickle with Karthik Venkataraman. We'll see you closer to Game 2. Hope you watch it. It'll be on Sunday night. Getting a little ahead of myself. Tuesday night will be Game 3. Sunday night, 8 p.m. on ABC as well as ESPN Radio. NBA Finals, Game 2 from inside Oracle Arena. Once again, this has been In a Pickle with Karthik Venkataraman. See you on Sunday.